Hey everyone, today is Friday, October 23rd. It's 10:41 a.m. and the temperature is 12 degrees Celsius. And it's Toronto's Walkman. Good morning. That's the second time I've recently come across him in the last week or so in one of my videos. And that was Queens Quay West I was just standing in front of, looking north up Bay Street. And this here is Harbour Square Park. So I'm in the south end of downtown Toronto. Currently walking towards a rather bright sun. I don't really have a specific plan for this walk. I normally have an idea of the route I'm going to follow, but in this one I'm just going to wing it. There's the Jack Layton Ferry Terminal, so I think I'll go take a quick walk along the waterfront and then perhaps head north and eventually find my way to a subway station. I don't really know yet. I had just finished recording a live stream where I started at the north end of Bay Street and I walked south and finished up here at Harbour Square Park. It was a very foggy morning, but that mostly seems to have cleared up. Here's a neat, oversized picnic table done up in camo. As you can tell, the visibility across the lake isn't all that good right now. So once I wind my way around Harbour Square Park, I think I'll walk west along Queens Quay for a bit. Today is supposed to hit somewhere in the low 20s, making it one of the nicest days of the month, if not the nicest so far, although there's not much time left. This guy doesn't seem to mind that I'm so close to him. And I couldn't tell you if this would normally be a busy spot at this time on a weekday morning pre-pandemic times, but it's certainly not too busy right now. If anything, that probably makes things a bit nicer. So this part of Harbour Square Park is considered Harbour Square Park East. If you've seen my waterfront videos before, you're certainly familiar with this area. Although this year I've mostly recorded here in the evening or at night. It's always interesting to come take a look at some of the nicer areas at different times of the day, especially at this time of year when we get all these nice fall colors kicking in. And I just hit 10,000 steps on the day. Got that over with nice and early. And I'm not sure if the camera will do just how nice this is much justice, but I don't think I've ever seen it so nice down here before. I'll take a quick detour around the southern edge. This would be Harbour Square Park West. Oh, he seemed to have found a nut. That's cool. He just dug that right out and picked it out of the ground. Although I don't think it was in there very deep. Please do not feed the birds. It's almost spooky seeing how empty this place is. You would expect that in weather that isn't so nice. Toronto is certainly a city of seagulls, pigeons, and raccoons. We do have other wildlife, but you'll struggle to find it. There's the odd coyote or even fox sighting in some of the ravine areas. I remember where I grew up in Mississauga one morning, seeing just a fox trotting down the middle of the street. That was kind of a neat sight. So this is Queens Quay West. I have arrived back to. And that's the foot of York Street. I recently did a walk through the financial district. That included the part of York Street just to the north of here. This area south of the railway tracks and Gardner Expressway is often referred to as the South Core. It's a mix of condos and high-rise office towers. Just to the north of that is the financial district. And you know what? Whenever I walk along Queens Quay West, I'm always on the side of the lake when I record a video. Let's walk along this side for a block or so, just to be different. So I'm now walking west on Queens Quay West. This land I'm on now is all infill. The waterfront used to... this truck's kind of loud. The waterfront used to go all the way up to just south of Front Street. So this is all reclaimed land that I'm on. Just across the street there is Harbourfront Center. And here is Lower Simcoe Street. Maybe I'll turn up Lower Simcoe. I'll start heading north through downtown for a bit. Like I said, I don't really know how this walk is going to end up. Often I'll kind of plan a route from point A to point B, and I'll try to think of something that's interesting or a route that I haven't walked before or in a long time, or do things at a different time of day. I don't put too much thought into things though. Often I just grab the camera and go. So this is Lower Simcoe I have turned up. Once you get north of Front Street, it will turn into just plain old Simcoe Street. This is Lakeshore Boulevard West. That's two words, Lake Space Shore. In Mississauga, it's just Lakeshore. It's all one word. And I believe it's Lakeshore Road there. Cars exiting the eastbound Gardner Expressway. There used to be another exit ramp just to the east of here at York, but the city removed that. There's definitely a love, mostly hate relationship with the Gardner Expressway amongst residents of the city. A lot of people feel that it sort of severs the downtown section from the lake and makes things less accessible. also an eyesore and it's very expensive to maintain. Lucky Clover Sports Pub. They have a very large outdoor patio area. It's very fortunate for them as there is no dine-in service in the city currently. This street is called Grand Trunk Crescent. If you ask me where in Toronto Grand Trunk Crescent was, I would have to say I don't know. But I guess now I do. And this is Bremner Street, where the Air Canada Centre, now known as the Scotiabank Arena, is. Maybe I'll go west on Bremner for a block or so. That's the Scotiabank Arena at the end there. That part of the street is known as Raptors Way. We'll take a quick detour through Roundhouse Park, home to the Steam Whistle Brewery and a former train roundhouse. There used to be a large Leon's furniture store in this area as well. I remember going to a New Year's Eve party quite a long time ago in that building. And now that section is currently occupied by a large Dave & Buster style arcade. It's called the Rec Room and it is owned by Cineplex Odeon, who pretty much has a monopoly on movie theaters now in Canada, or at least in this part. There's Steam Whistle Brewing on the left. And that straight ahead is the actual roundhouse where locomotives would pull in and this mechanism would spin them around and they could go into one of the gates for maintenance or repairs. And often there's a mini railroad that operates on these tiny little tracks here, but I haven't seen it running during the pandemic. And the Toronto Railway Museum is also located there, although I don't think it's open right now. That would be the South Core area I talked to on the right there, and the traditional financial district just on the left. And ignore the name on that building. That is the Toronto SkyDome, named the SkyDome after a contest where the fans, or I guess residents, all submitted, well, they didn't all submit, but they could, if they wanted, submit names entered into a contest where if they chose your name, you won free tickets to every event at that building. It's unfortunately been renamed. I remember watching the opening ceremonies. Whoa, I just scared a flock of pigeons. I remember watching the opening ceremonies for the SkyDome on TV. I think that was in '89. Alan Thicke from Growing Pains, who was Canadian, hosted it. And I had some people parachuting in as the roof was open. I think that event was largely kind of mocked as being kind of silly. And not long after that, it opened and the Blue Jays played there for the first time. And I was at that first series of games, so that was kind of cool. And it is already turning into quite a nice day. I'm definitely overdressed for this now. I was a bit worried that I'd be kind of cold on the live stream, so I wore a long sleeve t-shirt and a thick fleece hoodie, which seemed to be fine, but let's see what my watch says. It says 12 degrees, but feels more like 15 or 16, to be honest with you. There's a look at the southern end of the SkyDome. There's a Marriott hotel built into the dome. There's a look at the railway tracks. And on this side, it will lead you into Union Station. This is Front Street West just up ahead, and a lot of these condos here sit on what used to be parking lots. If you ever came down here to go to a Blue Jays or Argos, which was the CFL team that played out of the SkyDome, if you ever came down to go to one of those games, there's a good chance you parked in one of these lots. There's the CBC headquarters there, Canadian Broadcasting Company. And that's a look east. Oops, down Front Street. So the next street here is Blue Jays Way. In order to get a street named after your team, you have to win a championship. So in the early 90s, the Blue Jays won a couple of World Series and they get Blue Jays Way. The Raptors have Raptors Way. But I don't think we'll be seeing Maple Leafs Way anytime soon. Not in our lifetimes. I'd have to think that the amount of jaywalking going on in the city of Toronto is much higher these days with so little going on. Let's look south towards the lake, and that's the SkyDome just there. Let's turn north up Blue Jays Way. It looks like the lighting's a bit better on the other side of the street. Why am I so not surprised there's no traffic coming this way? So in case you're wondering, for next week, I would like to get a walk in around the Bridle Path, which is sort of the mega mansion area of Toronto. I think it'll be nice at this time of year with all the fall colors. As well as a walk through High Park and get in some bike rides. I want to do some night walks, perhaps tonight. I'll do a late night walk. That's pretty much all I have in store for next week, and of course I'll do some live streams. I think the live stream this morning went really well. I haven't had a chance to view it, but I've been streaming at a higher quality lately. There was some trouble keeping the connection going, but I think I've solved that. Here's Wahlburgers. $15 for a grab and go combo. the now closed Wayne Gretzky's restaurant. This building is being cleared out for a condo. And the Second City Live is moving down to a building in York Street, right around the waterfront where I just was. If you're wondering, I gave that driver a wave and motion that I'd walk behind his car. This is King Street West. There's the old Mountain Equipment Co-op retail store that is now located a few blocks north onto Queen Street West. It's now a Kitchen Stuff Plus. So here, it is no longer referred to as Blue Jays Way. This is the Peter Street section. It's an interesting spot to park. I guess that's legal. What kind of license plate is on that minivan? It's got a Canada Post decal on it. New Brunswick. So someone is driving around here working for Canada Post with a New Brunswick plate. I think you only have a set amount of time before you have to change your license plate. When you move to a different province, also you'll have to amend your insurance at some point as well. This is Adelaide Street. I recently did a walk down here. That'll head right through the financial district. These streetcar tracks are no longer in service. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? Nope, he's waiting. This used to be occupied by a club. It had a number of names, but I remember it as Level. I have done a walk down here, down this particular street in the past, where I talked about a lot of these buildings. how this was sort of the former epicenter of the city's nightlife area. This is Richmond Street. That's the old Fez Boutique. It used to be a bar, but now it's a homeless shelter. And 134 Peter Street has an absolutely spectacular lobby area. Maybe I can get a peek. I'm not going to go in there unnecessarily, just due to the virus that's plaguing us, but we can certainly take a look inside. I guess there's a lot of glare. Reflecting off of the glass there. And this is Queen Street West. So just to the west from here will be Spadina Avenue, and you could turn north up into Chinatown. And there's the new Mountain Equipment Co-op. This part of Queen Street West is very well known for its retail shopping. That's a look north up Soho Street. That sound is not annoying at all. Sounds like someone gave a bratty little kid an electric whistle. And he's got one of those parents that doesn't care that everyone's giving them a dirty look. So look north up Beverley Street.
They were saying after World War II, the Americans took on the world.
All right, so this is John Street. So let's turn north up here and head through Grange Park. There's a lot of requests for walks through parks at this time of year, so we'll knock another one off the list. Then maybe I'll find my way over to a subway station. It's been a fairly productive morning. I got a live stream in, and I recorded a walk. I still have an entire day ahead of me to do whatever I please. There are a couple of movies out I'd like to see this weekend. On the Rocks, the new Bill Murray movie. And of course there's the new Borat movie. And a very much anticipated UFC event tomorrow afternoon. I'm sure that appeals to about 5% of you. And here is Grange Park. That's a look east to McCaul Street. All right, I might have to mute the volume on the actual upload just up ahead. Absolutely riveting that was. But they're getting their exercise. That's the Art Gallery of Ontario just up ahead. That is the art gallery, the Ontario College of Art and Design. Otherwise known as OCAD University. Sorry about that. Looks like the exposure got all messed up for a second. Think I could catch this squirrel? I don't think I could. Hey, buddy. What's that you got? Having a moment with this guy up. They always go to the opposite side of a tree. I don't think he has to worry about too many other creatures out here catching him. There's not very many that could. maybe a cat if it sort of ambushed it and pounced. This building was kind of controversial when it was first built. It was designed by Will Aslop. I think it's kind of cool. Even though it's ugly, I still like that it's here. I feel the same way about a lot of the art that's been popping up over the city in various forms. So this is McCaul Street I'm walking north on. So I'll head north into an area known as Baldwin Village, and then maybe I'll head over to St. Patrick or Queen Station, one of those guys, and I'll wrap this thing up. I just thought since I was downtown and I had my camera, I might as well go for a walk and record something. So this is the Art Gallery of Ontario. I'm currently looking west along Dundas Street West.
There, young man.
I don't know what that idiot said, but I didn't step off the sidewalk, not even close. Maybe he was referring to my camera. He also called me a young man. I bet I'm older than him. I guess some people are just looking for reasons to chirp at strangers.
So yeah, what do you see?
So this area is known as Baldwin Village. It kind of bleeds into Chinatown the more you head west. Redemptorists. I don't know what that means. There's a very unlikely Krispy Kreme just up ahead on the left. It's kind of interesting how Krispy Kreme went from having all these sort of mega locations to much smaller than even a Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts would be. Here it is. I don't think these coffee shops are suffering nearly as much as restaurants. hard to tell if they're even open right now. Chocolate glazed Fridays. That would be today. I'd love to have one of those, but every time I do, I feel absolutely disgusting afterwards. This here on the left used to be a Korean restaurant. Looks like they opened up as a St. Louis bar and grill at the worst possible timing. All right, let's just head down Baldwin Village. This is Baldwin Street. It's amazing how many people I meet in the city who aren't aware of this area. Bodega restaurant, I thought. Bodega is a New York City term for variety store. And a Kinton ramen. This is or ramen. This is a chain that's popped up all over the city in recent years. It's actually pretty good. They usually have nice deals in the summer. Get a glass of Sapporo for something around $2 with your bowl of ramen. It's not a full pint, but it does the trick. So this is Beverley Street, and just up ahead here to the north will be College Street. And if you were to continue north, it would turn into St. George Street on the other side of College and take you up through the University of Toronto campus. But I think I'm going to turn right onto College and head over to the subway station. I think the lighting might be better if I were on the other side, but I've only got a block more to go. There's the Polish Combatants Association, branch number 20. Let's get a brief detour down Cecil Street, or Cecil, to McCaul. This church looks quite nice. Or this is Henry Street, actually. This won't go all the way to McCaul. This is not a street I have recorded too often. It's got kind of a Cabbagetown vibe to it. I don't know if you'd describe these as Victorian style homes or not, but they're probably of the right time period. This is kind of unfortunate that I bet a whole row of these nice homes was demolished for this thing. If I were to guess, I would say these are probably late 1800s. And hopefully none of them have any of their original plumbing or wiring. Usually at some point with these older homes, the pipes underneath the basement crack, so when people start draining water or flushing their toilet, it doesn't refill. That's a very expensive repair job that involves jackhammering open the floor of the basement to repair. And I've even seen some homes that were rewired in the 70s, so their original old style knob and tube wiring, which is not considered safe, was removed and replaced with aluminum wiring, which is not considered safe. So a lot of them will be on wiring job number 3. If it was replaced with copper wiring, it's mostly okay if an electrician signs off on it. Here's a look at St. George campus of the University of Toronto. And here is McCaul Street, where the Ontario College of Art and Design is. I walked underneath. So straight ahead is Queen's Park Station at University Avenue. So I'll take a quick look north towards Queen's Park, and then I'll duck down into the station. Talked about this building before. It's actually designed by the same gentleman who did Casa Loma and a number of other notable Toronto buildings. That's known as the Stewart Building. There's the Ontario Power Generation. company. It's located in this large glass building.
Like dietary stuff, environmental stuff, like there's schooling.
There's a look north towards the Provincial Legislative Assembly building. Toronto is the capital of Ontario, and Ottawa, of course, would be the capital of Canada. There's a look east down College Street. And north along Queen's Park. This part of the street is known as Queen's Park, and to the south it is University Avenue. But I will be heading down into the subway.
This weekend, there will be no subway service on the portion of Line 1 between Shepherd West and St. Clair West stations due to track work. Shuttle buses will run. Check ttc.ca for more information and help plan your trip.
I think I'll head northbound for a stop and transfer at St. George. There's a train pulling in right now, but I'm not going to kill myself to go try to catch it. I hope you enjoyed this somewhat random and impromptu walk through downtown. Let me know if you like this kind of video and would like to see more of it. There are links to my Instagram and Patreon in the description. And if you're interested, you can get a channel membership on the main page itself, or you can sign up to Patreon. The benefits are very similar. All right, thanks for watching and have yourself a great day. I don't know why I said that at
Please stand clear of the doors.
the loudest possible time, but I will catch you on the next one.
Next station is Museum Station.